When the name Witold Pilecki is mentioned, a lot of great things crosses one's mind. Witold Pilecki was a Polish soldier and hero who is best known for his extraordinary courage and selflessness during World War II. He volunteered to infiltrate and gather intelligence from Auschwitz, one of the most notorious Nazi concentration camps. Pilecki's daring mission, codenamed Operation Auschwitz, allowed him to document the horrifying conditions and atrocities inside the camp, ultimately revealing the Holocaust to the Allied forces. After escaping from Auschwitz, he continued to fight against the Nazis in the Warsaw Uprising and later against the communist regime in post-war Poland. Witold Pilecki's actions exemplify unwavering bravery and dedication to the cause of justice and freedom. In those extreme circumstances, Witold was a beacon of hope. His story quenches the hopelessness thirst on people who read it. Welcome to Forge Master Academy, the ultimate destination for those seeking to unlock their full potential in every aspect of life. Our channel is dedicated to empowering everyone to lead fulfilling lives by focusing on 4 key pillars of personal development: mental, physical, financial, and relationship-wise. Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned till the end. Sensational awakening awaits you. In this video and the next upcoming 2 videos, we are going to look at the chains that have enslaved us unknowingly for ages. This will give us clarity and help us forge our minds to the path that we predestined to ourselves. But as Marcus Aurelius says, we can't control the things that happens to us, but only control how we respond to them. Hope is one of the many ways we respond to life's adversities and challenges that are thrown in our path. Having looked at the impact of hope in different aspects and scenarios, I am predisposed to the fact that hope is indeed the labyrinth of suffering that the systems have imposed on us. That the infinite permutation of inferno experience that we go through is as a result of perpetual cycles of hope that we put ourselves into. And therefore, by hope here, I refer to the motive put therefore of a great perhaps. The greater perhaps to everyone is different. To some, it is being physically fit. To others, it's being financially stable, while to others is pursuit for happiness and finding one's purpose. The odds of achieving a greater perhaps vary across. Some are a bit big, while others are extremely thin. Failure to fruition of these hopes puts one in a perpetual crisis. The ripple effect of it extends to emotional and mental breakdown. But isn't life imperfect and unpredictable? You'd ask. Probably, but 1, the imperfections of life is life's perfection in introspect, and 2, looking at conventional decision a person makes are arbitrary in nature. Hope, by virtue of its works, seems to be paradoxical by nature. Hope is the pillar of strength in this world, deemed unfit, imperfect, and unfair. That's a fundamental aspect of its course and work. But by weighing its course on ensuring that we remain sane, it seems to do the contrary, robbing us of our sanity. Most people end up on the dire end of the spectrum when results seem to be unchanged and time is out of hand. A free man is never free. He may seem to be roaming freely, but deep inside the curse of hope seems to be his master. In a generation where we reject independent objective thinking and repudiate any truth factor, we are programmed to hope. I hope the government will provide us with this. I hope my wife doesn't relinquish this. I hope the government will correct this. It's always, I hope. Laziness sets in and hope changes its meaning. We no longer dream and act, but rather stuck in an interlude of action and dreams. Inertia at its best, by my definition. Based on empirical resonance, we create an illusion of certainty in an uncertain world. This is blinding, and we fail to note the changes around us. On our quest to yearning for what might be the great, perhaps we fail to realize that the future is a projection of nows. And to make it right, I have assembled 4 main pillars to combating this curse. Let's get into it. 1. Realistic expectations. The wisdom of Schopenhauer. In the 19th century, a gloomy philosopher named Arthur Schopenhauer took the world of philosophy by storm with his bleak outlook on life. He believed that excessive hope was a pathway to inevitable disappointment. His perspective on hope was a stark departure from the idealistic notions of his contemporaries. Schopenhauer argued that life was inherently filled with suffering, and he viewed hope as a cruel and deceptive force. To him, hope was like a mirage in the desert, a fleeting illusion that led people on fruitless quests. He believed that when individuals clung too tightly to their hopes, they set themselves up for unending disappointment. Schopenhauer's view was influenced by his interpretation of Eastern philosophies, particularly Buddhism. He saw desire as the source of human suffering, and hope, in his eyes, was merely a manifestation of desire. To him, the more one hoped for, the more they would eventually suffer. This philosophical stance might sound harsh, but Schopenhauer's intention was not to plunge people into despair. Rather, he believed in embracing a more stoic approach to life. By acknowledging the world's inherent challenges and suffering, individuals could develop a kind of wisdom and resilience that was tempered by realism. For Schopenhauer, the key to avoiding the curse of hope was to find a middle ground between pessimism and optimism. It was about recognizing that life could be challenging and sometimes disappointing, but it was in understanding these truths that one could find a sense of peace and even, paradoxically, a form of hope. A hope that was rooted in acceptance and a deeper understanding of the human condition. In essence, Schopenhauer's philosophy taught us that hope should not be blindly optimistic. It should be a nuanced and realistic assessment of life's challenges. It was, in his eyes, the way to combat the curse of hope and find a more profound, lasting form of contentment in the face of life's ups and downs. 2. Critical thinking, the legacy of Socratic inquiry. In the bustling streets of ancient Athens, a sage named Socrates roamed, asking questions that would ignite the flames of critical thinking for generations to come. Socrates, often considered the father of Western philosophy, was a relentless questioner, a seeker of truth, and an advocate for the power of critical thinking. For Socrates, the curse of hope might not have been a term he used, but he recognized the danger of blind optimism, especially when it clouded rational judgment. Socrates believed that critical thinking was the antidote to this curse, and he practiced it through a method known as the Socratic dialogues. Picture a scene in the Agora, the heart of ancient Athenian life, where Socrates engaged in dialogue with his fellow citizens. He would ask them deceptively simple questions, often about matters of ethics, justice, and knowledge. These questions were designed to make people think deeply about their beliefs, their values, and the foundations of their hopes and desires. Socrates' approach was not about providing answers. It was about raising more questions. He would dissect his interlocutors' arguments and ideas, revealing inconsistencies and contradictions in their thinking. By doing so, he aimed to uncover the limitations of their knowledge and beliefs, leading them to a more profound understanding of the complexities of life. Through the Socratic method, Socrates encouraged people to critically examine their assumptions, beliefs, and the foundations of their hopes. He believed that genuine wisdom was rooted in the awareness of one's ignorance and the continuous pursuit of knowledge. The curse of hope could be likened to a blind, unexamined hope, where individuals place their trust in ideas and desires without scrutiny. Socrates' teachings remind us that hope should be tempered by inquiry and rational assessment. Critical thinking is the light that reveals the pitfalls of unfounded optimism and guides us toward a more grounded, informed perspective. In a world where information and beliefs can be readily accepted without question, Socrates' legacy serves as a reminder of the power of asking why and how. Through critical thinking, we can navigate the labyrinth of our hopes and dreams with a more discerning eye, avoiding the curse of hope's potential pitfalls. 3. Alternative plans. The Stoic wisdom of Epictetus. Imagine yourself in the world of Epictetus, a world where life's uncertainties and setbacks were commonplace. The Stoics believed that while it was essential to hope and strive for the best outcomes, it was equally vital to prepare for the worst. This concept was encapsulated by a Stoic maxim: hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Epictetus, who had faced numerous hardships in his own life, understood that unwavering hope without contingency plans could lead to unnecessary disappointment and suffering. He advocated for a mindset that accepted the possibility of adversity and encouraged individuals to develop backup plans and strategies. To avoid the curse of hope, Epictetus urged his followers to cultivate a practical approach to life. He believed that setting alternative plans was not an expression of pessimism, but a mark of wisdom and resilience. By anticipating potential obstacles and setbacks, individuals could adapt more effectively when their hopes were not realized. Epictetus's philosophy of alternative plans offers a valuable lesson in combating the curse of hope. It reminds us that hope should be tempered by a sense of preparedness and adaptability. By considering various outcomes and having contingency strategies in place, we can maintain our inner peace and fortitude even in the face of unfulfilled hopes. Epictetus teaches us that in the balance between hope and preparation lies the path to genuine resilience and wisdom. 4. Emotional resilience. The existential insights of Jean-Paul Sartre. In the mid-20th century, amidst the existentialist movement in Europe, Jean-Paul Sartre, a French philosopher, explored the complexities of human existence, including the role of hope and emotional resilience. Sartre's philosophy, often associated with existentialism, provides a unique perspective on how individuals can combat the curse of hope. Sartre's existentialist philosophy revolves around the idea of radical freedom and personal responsibility. He believed that individuals were condemned to be free, meaning they were always responsible for their choices, even in the face of life's uncertainties and absurdity. In this existential landscape, hope and despair played significant roles. Imagine a person grappling with existential questions, torn between the desire to hope for meaning and the despair that life might be inherently devoid of it. Sartre understood that hope could be a double-edged sword, capable of bringing purpose and joy, but also leading to suffering if misapplied. Sartre's solution to combating the curse of hope was rooted in emotional resilience and a profound sense of personal responsibility. He believed that individuals could choose how they responded to life's challenges. While hope could inspire positive action and optimism, it could also lead to passivity if taken to an extreme. Sartre encouraged individuals to acknowledge the potential absurdity and uncertainty of life and to accept their freedom to define meaning and purpose. In this acceptance, he argued, emotional resilience could be cultivated. Instead of being victims of hope or despair, individuals could become masters of their own emotional responses. Consider someone facing a profound disappointment, a dream unfulfilled, or a life turned in an unexpected direction. In Sartre's existential framework, they would confront the curse of hope by embracing their freedom to choose how they responded. They could find meaning through their actions, even in the face of unmet hopes, and discover resilience in the process. Sartre's philosophy teaches us that emotional resilience is about taking ownership of our feelings and responses, even when hope is challenged. It's an acknowledgement of the complexity of existence and a determination to live authentically, navigating life's uncertainties with a sense of responsibility and freedom. In a world filled with both hope and despair, Sartre's insights remind us that we can be the architects of our emotional responses, forging emotional resilience in the face of the curse of hope. By embracing our freedom and responsibility, we can find meaning and resilience in the most challenging circumstances. In my conclusion, I dare you. Removing hope from the equation doesn't deter you from dreaming. That, rather than hoping on the dream, let the no's be your building blocks, the brick and mortar. To the dream, that rather than decisions based on emotions alone, let logic at its uttermost prevail to be the head while supported with emotions. That in the midst of pressure, high consciousness and discipline steer one towards their dream. Let's not walk down the destructive path of hope. Let's dream, dare, and do.